Hello, everyone, and welcome to TEP Talks Professional Series, a groundbreaking new podcast dedicated to showcasing the diverse career journey and professional accomplishments of TEP alumni, brought to you by the TEP Foundation. I am your host, Stan Silverman, URI Class of 79, Tau Omega 402. It's my privilege to speak to TEP brothers across a wide spectrum of industries, gaining insights into their fields, advice for breaking in, and a realistic look at the day-to-day work behind some of the most impactful careers in the modern economy. Personally, I found so many of the brothers with whom I spoke to have such interesting stories. I'm sure that in addition to the educational benefit that you will gain from watching and listening to these professionals, the stories that they tell are just plain fascinating. So pick one, anyone, or pick them all. I'm certain that it'll be worth your while. Thank you and happy watching. Hello, everyone. Today, I have the privilege of speaking with Steve Mintzer. Steve is a teacher for New York City's Department of Education. So, without further ado, here we go. Well, good
Hey
morning.
Stan, good morning. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Pleasure to meet you.
All mine, thank you. So, you're a teacher in New York City, right?
Yep, I'm a special educator in New York City public schools.
Okay. How long have you done that?
This is my 20th year.
Wow. Okay. And you also work for the union?
Yeah, I work for the United Federation of Teachers.
And how does that work?
So I still work for the DOE. I just from 8 to 3, I work for the division. It's called DIAL, the Division of Inclusive and Accessible Learning. The majority of my work is staff training and supporting special educators in the schools. And then in the afternoons, I work for the union and I oversee special ed compliance and E&L compliance for all the schools in Brooklyn. And District 75 is a special ed district in New York City. So those schools too.
So, for those who don't know what ENL means, what is that?
Oh yeah, students of English language learners.
So, that's for students that English is not their native language?
Correct.
Got it. You graduated from Queens College in '03,
Correct.
and did you get your master's?
Yep. So I went to Toro for my master's right after. I was teaching early intervention during that time, doing the school at night and weekends, so I can, have a job and pay my bills. And I worked in an after school program pretty much right when I started Queens College, and through my pledge, I was working in an after school program. Actually, how I met a few brothers through that process.
So, the brothers didn't help. Did they help you get the job or
So I
influence you
I
to
I
teach?
met them on campus, and I ended up working with two of them. And from there, the connection was made for the after school program. And Queens College at the time was an education heavy campus, so a lot of us were in the same classes and programs and stuff like that.
Okay. So you didn't have your master's when you first got the job. How how long did they give you to get your master's?
So when you have a bachelor's in education, you can teach under. They changed the names of the licenses. I think one was the internship license. Now they call it transitional, and you can work. I think you have 5 years to complete your master's, um, uh, so you can teach while getting your master's. And then New York City has a bunch of programs called like the fellowship program, or it's a men's program, right? You want to get more males in teaching. It's like Teach for Men or something like that. So if you're a career changer or at risk or minority group, you can apply for these programs and get in.
Okay. What made you decide to become a teacher?
It's pretty much a family business. My mom was a special educator. My grandfather worked at an automotive high school in the city. He was initially he was a mechanic, but then he did the career training programs for high school. Um, Both my sisters work in schools. My aunt worked in a school. So I was little. I was like helping mom set up her bulletin boards and when I was in kindergarten and stuff. So I was always around education. It's funny. My father was a mechanic, right? And so like every time you got a bunch of us in the room together, dinners or family get-togethers, it always turns to teacher talk, and then you're like the odd man out. Like, what am I listening to here?
So he decided that if he couldn't beat him, he would join him.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you like teaching?
yeah, I love it. I actually then I'm not in the classroom for the last 3 years. When I switched over to this new role, I miss it, right? So I find ways to like coach Special Olympics or volunteer with different things to because I miss being around the kids, and now I'm teaching adults. I'm teaching staff, so it's different.
That's very nice of you to volunteer like that to give back.
Yeah, our alumni association and our refounded undergrad chapter, we made Special Olympics one of our philanthropies for our group. So we do like the polar plunge. We'll volunteer at all different events that happen. Queens College hosts a basketball tournament for Special Olympics every year in the spring. So we're usually heavily involved in supporting them there and stuff like that.
That's great. What do you do for the union?
Yeah, so I'm a liaison between the special ed departments of the DOE and the union. So a lot of negotiating, protocols, staff training, supporting staff and families with making sure that children get uh, the special ed or English language learning supports they need.
So it's
It's a
like
unique job
it sounds like a social worker.
for staff and yeah, a lot of it is a lot
Okay.
of support walking through their problems and solving it with them.
That's great. And DOE is Department of
Yeah,
Education?
yeah, it's called
Okay.
New York City Public Schools now, but it's yeah basically the New York City's public school system.
Okay. How much longer do you plan to do this?
We've got 9 years till I'm eligible to retire. In an ideal world, you leave when you want to leave, right? Hopefully, there's nothing forcing you out of the program or out of the job, right? 57 is the day I turn 57, I can walk out of the building, and we'll see if I want to do that or not.
You have any plans for afterwards?
Travel,
Do you-
enjoy, you
Okay.
know.
Good, good. So you're in
I'm tier four. I'm
your
tier
tier
four.
four. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, tier six is a little scary sounding.
we're working on it. We were up in Albany 2 weeks ago. It's right now is all the state budgets and the city budgets. So we're trying to get a bunch of these things um, passed in the state budget to fix some of the discrepancies in tier six. So um, right now, no matter when you start, you have to work to year 63 um, for tier six. So teachers start at like 22, 23 years old. You're talking about 42 years of teaching. That's not no other public service unions deal with that stuff or anywhere in the country. So it's rough. And they also put an additional percentage that we stop paying at tier four. They pay after 10 years. We stop paying after 10 years and they keep going for the duration of their career. So there's a couple of just inequities that we want to try to fix.
It would be one thing if you had to wait until 63 to collect your pension, but they want you to work until you're 63.
Yeah, serious deductions if you leave early.
That's that's
It's like
crazy.
I think it's something like you start with like 38% of your final average salary if you leave early versus like I think it's like 66% if you are in tier four, and so it's a massive amount of life benefits that you're not getting.
So what's some of the highlights of your profession?
Yeah, listen, being a special educator is awesome. I taught in District 85, so it was our severely disabled students. Anywhere out of New York City, you might hear it as BOCES. That's typically what the New York everywhere every other system outside of New York City has a BOCES program. So we keep those kids in our schools in New York City. So we have like wheelchair bound students, deaf blind students, severe autism, emotional disturbance, all the battery of multiple disabilities. So that work is fun because it's not the same as like teaching to a state test. You're kind of watching them progress through life skills and a bunch of different things. And you see progress really every single day versus waiting for that state test or so listen, it's tougher because of the students we serve, but I think it's more gratifying.
So this isn't done at every school in New York City. It's done
No.
at particular schools.
So that district, we have 65 schools right now. We'll have two more next year. They're going to open two more schools next year. There'll be 67 actual buildings that are for these kids. And then across the city, we have what we call co-locations. We'll have like a wing of a building with like, 10 or 11, 12 classes in it so that they can hopefully, go to school in their community and not to travel as far. There's like 440 of those across New York City of the 1,600 schools. So about a third of the system has District 75 in it. So it could be any grade band. They're able to hopefully be with their peers, possibly their siblings in the same building at least, which is nicer.
Yeah, that certainly makes it easier there's no school buses in New York City, right?
There is
Oh,
for
there
this
are.
group there would be school buses.
So if there's two siblings that go to the same school and one is handicapped and one is not, can they ride on the same bus?
They could
O-
up until I think sixth grade. At seventh
Okay.
grade, the student that's not in the special ed district would get a Metro card or Omni card, and they would be able to travel independently to school.
That would be on buses or subways.
Yeah,
Okay.
or walking. A lot of them go to school, right in their neighborhood, so they're just walking down a block. My son walks about 10 blocks to his school right now. He's in eighth grade.
Okay. What borough do you live in?
Queens. Yeah, I'm in Fresh Meadow, so right around that area.
I made lots of mistakes. Have you made any mistakes in your teaching career that you said, "Oh my gosh, I'm never doing that again"?
I feel like every day is, teaching is different, right? Like every day you're gonna find things that you fail at. You're gonna change it, right? Like that's the whole point of it. We're learning the whole time that students are learning. You have an idea for what your lesson's gonna be. Uh, doesn't draw their attention, doesn't hit the mark. You got to go and repeat it. So yeah, failing is part of the process. I think it's how we find the art of teaching, right? Like I say, it's an art form. You got to spend like 10,000 hours to be a master of it. So yeah, it's tons of mistakes every day.
Yeah, that's how you learn, right? So, what would you think of an undergraduate who says, "I think I want to become a teacher"? What would you say to them?
It's a job that's never going to go away. We're not. I mean, listen, AI is out there, or the technology situations. There's always going to be a need for students to be educated, right? Like, and even if the way we do it changes, we still need people. And because my wife works at Queens College now, and I'm still connected with our undergrad chapter. I was actually talking to the president yesterday, and the issue is that they're looking at these tech jobs, or they're looking at these finance industries, or business administration, and they're not being drawn into the education field, right? But there are a ton of different titles within education. You could be a speech therapist, or you could be an administrator. There's all these different ways to to meet the need, and it's never going away. So I tell everybody, if you're not sure, take some education classes. Go do you do observations in schools when you're getting your licensing. Go observe, see if it draws you in.
Okay. Do you find you brought up administration? Do you find that the administrators, uh, first of all, are they former teachers? Do they ask you to do things that you know don't make any sense, or
Yeah, I
are
mean,
they
I feel like listen. I'll go against the news articles here. I think a majority of the administrators in New York City just want to do good, right? And then what you see in the news are the smaller group of not the greatest administrators out there. A majority of administrators just want to see you grow as an educator and see the children grow. But every day you're going to have some situation where you're like, I'm not sure if that's the right direction. And it's kind of the work I do now. When I'm training them, I'm giving them like the evidence to push back on some of the bad directives, especially when it comes to special education.
That's great. And it's nice that if the administrators listen to the evidence and say, you have a point there.
We're professionals. We should be able to have professional conversations and be like, hey, listen, I professionally disagree with this. Here is the reasons why I disagree with it. Let's come to some kind of solution. And if that's happening, typically you're in a good environment. You're happy.
Yeah, you want to be listened to, and you want somebody to. I tried that and it doesn't work. I guess this is public information. How much money does a teacher start with as pay? I'm sorry.
So we're in the middle of our batch of raises. We get a 3.5% raise in September. So starting salary should be somewhere around like 69,000. There are a bunch of ways to move that number along. So if you started with your master's, you would move along the salary scale. I think within 5 years, I think a top teacher is making 100,000. I mean, within 5 years with a master's, you're making about $100,000 in the new contract. So not bad, not great for New York City, but not bad. But a top salary I think is something around like 145,000 right now.
Okay, so that's with 25 or 30 years is 140.
Yeah, at 22
Okay,
years you hit the maximum number.
you have longevity bumps.
Yeah, so 22 years will be that last longevity bump, and then all you see for the duration of your career is whatever contractual raises you get.
Okay. I know that certain jobs like cops or firefighters have to live within a certain radius of the city. Do teachers have that?
No rule. You can pretty much. We have teachers that come from Jersey and Pennsylvania every day, Connecticut for the people that like work in the Bronx, and obviously Long Island. They're all living out Long Island, teaching in across New York City. But yeah, there's no restriction to live there. Besides for the fact that you're might be paying city taxes and whatnot. That kind of sucks.
Okay. How many sick days a year do you get?
So you get 10 that you can use in different ways. You get like you'll have up to 7 self-treated days. So I don't feel good, I'm not going to work. You have three of those 10 days you can use for personal days, and there are some like if you have medically certified, you can doctor's note a day. Those days do roll over. So if you don't use your 10, you can you'll roll them over for your career, but you can't go over 200 days in your bank. So once you reach 200 days, like so say I had 206 days right now, at the end of the school year, I'd revert back to 200. So if you end up saving that many days, you might as well start using them. And you're probably pretty deep into your career if you've got that many days.
Will they pay you for them, or it's use them or lose them?
So at retirement, you can cash them in for a 2-to-1 ratio. So every 2 days, you get basically what your salary would be for one day. So 200 days gets you 100 days paid out.
Okay. And what about okay, so as an active teacher, who pays for your health insurance?
We just signed and started in January an agreement with in New York City and like the downstate 13 counties, it's Emblem, and anywhere outside of those 13 counties, United Healthcare oversees it across the country. 5-year agreement, premium free. The city pays the healthcare. You don't pay
100%.
100%. We're the only teachers union in the United States that still has it, where we don't pay a premium.
Okay, and then tire.
Yeah, you have medical for retirement. So if you retire before Medicare age, you're still under the same plan we have. So that medical goes, you retire at 55 for 8 years. You're under our retirement plan that we have, our healthcare plan, and then at Medicare age, it reverts to Medicare and other, but it's also like premium free.
Wow.
There's still supplements that you can
Hello,
pay for.
everyone.
So, like
Today,
when you
I
retire,
have the
there
good
are
fortune to be
add-ons that
interviewing Nathan Zucker,
obviously give you
Ohio
different
State,
benefits.
class of
But for the
99.
most part, you're not you.
Nathan is
I
a
think you
professional
pay.
airline pilot.
Don't
So,
quote me on
without
this.
further
There's
ado, here we
it's
go.
like $900 as
Hello,
a retiree
everyone.
that you pay
Today,
over the course
I
of the
have the
year.
good
But our
fortune to be
welfare fund
interviewing Nathan Zucker,
reimburses you once a
Ohio
year for
State,
that. Like
class of
we have
99.
a program where we
Nathan
give you,
is a
I think, most
professional
of it, if not
airline
all of it,
pilot.
back once a
So,
year.
without
So you're
further
kind of
ado,
getting
here we
taken care
go.
of.
That's
Hello,
great.
everyone.
How
Today,
long has that been
I
in
have the good
effect,
fortune to be
that no
interviewing Nathan
pay
Zucker, Ohio State,
healthcare
class of
insurance?
99.
Has that always been a New
Nathan
York City
is a
benefit?
professional
Yeah,
airline
in New York City,
pilot.
we've never
So,
paid premiums
without
for our
further
insurance, and
ado, here
we've
we
been
go.
continuing to fight it like
Hello,
every
everyone.
round. But we
Today,
also, it's
I
not
have the
just
good
teachers.
fortune to be interviewing Nathan
The
Zucker,
large union, there's like
Ohio State, class of
110 unions in New York
99.
City, different
Nathan
public servants
is a
that are part of the
professional
municipal
airline
labor
pilot.
committee.
So,
They're
without
the ones
further
that are. It's
ado,
for all
here
of
we
those.
go.
So the firefighters have the
Hello,
exact same insurance
everyone.
as us. The cops,
Today,
exact
I
same
have the
insurance.
good
Sanitation,
fortune to be
exact same
interviewing
insurance.
Nathan Zucker,
They have
Ohio
different
State,
benefits through
class of
their
99.
union. Like
Nathan is a
firefighters have obviously
professional
a really
airline
strong
pilot.
welfare fund
So,
that deal
without
because they
further
deal
ado,
they
here
have
we
life
go.
very
Hello,
difficult
everyone.
medical conditions a lot of
Today,
times in
I have the
retirement.
good
So they have a
fortune to
different,
be
they have
interviewing Nathan
a
Zucker,
supplementary for
Ohio
themselves,
State,
the fire
class of
department
99.
or other
Nathan is
unions.
a professional
Okay.
airline pilot.
Do
So,
you ever want to go
without
back to
further
the
ado,
classroom and
here
get
we
out
go.
of more of the
Hello,
administrative
everyone.
kind of work that you
Today,
do?
I have the good fortune to
Yeah,
be
I
interviewing
say it a little
Nathan
too much
Zucker,
actually.
Ohio
I say,
State,
listen, if they
class
didn't
of
want me at this job,
99.
I go right back to the
Nathan
classroom.
is a professional airline pilot.
Okay.
So,
So
without
this
further
was
ado,
a
here we go.
job that you had to bid on or
Hello,
have a special
everyone.
qualification
Today,
to do?
I have the
I
good
had to apply
fortune
an
to be
interview for it.
interviewing
There was an
Nathan
opening.
Zucker,
Somebody was
Ohio
retiring,
State, class of
I put my name in the
99.
hat. Went
Nathan
through multiple
is a
rounds of interviewing,
professional airline
and
pilot. So,
there's three
without
of us in the
further
entire
ado,
department.
here we
So,
go.
um,
Hello, everyone.
there's five
Today,
boroughs in New York
I have
City
the
plus
good
District
fortune to
75.
be
There's
interviewing
three of
Nathan
us. We each
Zucker,
have two of the
Ohio
boroughs.
State, class of
Kind
99.
of, if you look at it that way.
Nathan is a
So we're
professional
overworked
airline pilot.
because
So,
we could use probably
without
three more of
further
us.
ado, here we
But
go.
no, the job's good. But
Hello,
I'll go back to teaching
everyone.
in a second.
Today,
You sound like you're a wonderful teacher, and the Board of Education would be lucky to have you back in a classroom.
It's kind. We need more people in the system. So if anybody's watching this and wants to be an educator in New York City, they should really be looking at all the options. It's we always need staff, right? Somebody's always going to retire. Somebody's going to move out of the state or whatever. There's always going to be openings. We're in no way, shape, or form dealing with too many staff in our system. So come on down, come work in the system in some way. There's like I said, there's like paraprofessionals. You could be a paraprofessional during your undergrad, and they reimburse you for 6 credits a semester for college if you're an employee of the city. There's a career training program, so you can actually have your tuition paid for, and work in the city, work as a support children in schools.
That's great. Are there openings now that they haven't filled?
Yeah, for the paraprofessional title specifically, like those are our lowest paid employees in the union because it's more transient, right? A lot of these people elevate to other careers, but that is a massive shortage in the system. We're missing a lot of staff there.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate your time. This has been nice, fascinating with all the things that I learned, and I wish you the best of luck. And so your final words to somebody considering becoming a teacher is go for it.
Do it. Do it. It's a great job. It's a great job. It could be a jumping point to other avenues. A lot of people end up doing curriculum writing or working for agencies. I know a bunch of friends that started out in the system and now they run their own therapeutic companies. They have their own speech therapy company or they work for an agency. There's so many outcomes, but anytime you're helping kids, you're doing the right thing.
All right, that's great. Thank you very much, Steve. I really appreciate your time.
Stan, I appreciate you doing this. I was watching some of those videos you're doing. This is awesome. I hope it helps a lot of people across our fraternity.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.